Hi guys, this is Günther again from Pax Europiana. This is now from Tirana. Very beautiful. This street is the Muslim Shuri Street. I called since about a decade to pedestrianize it. It would be a wonderful central pedestrian street, but unfortunately still not happening. But still, that's my call again. It's time for a pedestrian street for the Muslim Shuri. Now I will walk you a bit onwards and upwards towards the center of Tirana. And I will tell you my plans for the city, my plans for peace in the Balkans, my plans for Europe. And I will show you this amazing city. It's very beautiful. I'm very lucky here to be in December 2021 back here again. This is the central buildings. This is this Italian kind of colonial architecture which was built during this Italian phase of Albania. Basically after World War I, then Albania was drifting ever more into the orbit of Italy, and the city architects have wrote this one. It's a very dynamic city with huge skyscrapers. Here, see this one. It's called the Eyes of Tirana, and they have several of them coming up. There's a second one. Here's the the Albanian Orthodox Church, and the Ministry of Defense. It's a NATO ally already. I'm always very proud to remind everybody that this beautiful country is already in NATO. We Austrians, who would have ever thought that we will one day be behind Albania? When I was growing up in Austria, this was an impossible scenario that we will be left out, and Albania, of all places, is now in NATO. So it is, yeah. Things are changing and they are improving here. It's a very dynamic city. As much as I'm critical to Rama, the Prime Minister here, for not doing much for Eastern Albania and Northern Albania, for the south, for the coast, where he comes from, and also for Tirana, Durrës, he has achieved a lot. That's what centralists, socialists often do, beautification of cities, but it's also a very beautiful city, and it always was. It is a magic place. I always loved it. It's my favorite town in Europe, I have to say. This is Taiwan. It's a casino. Unfortunately, that industry is also not very well regulated in Albania and in Macedonia. I always call for tighter regulation, but okay, what to do? So this is the Central Youth Park. It would be good to rename it into the Park for Europe. I'm very much for Europe. And by the way, I will also share my peace plan here. Many of you know it already, but it's a very simple formula. It's the three NATO allies, Albania, Montenegro, North Macedonia, together in the European Union with American power through lobbying to achieve it in 2024, and then to be in the European Union. And to facilitate that, also Albania and Macedonia to adopt the euro on the same basis like Kosovo and Montenegro. I know it's not easy, I know the Europeans don't want it, but you have to do it to show that you want to be in Europe, and also to speed up the progress economically for the people. Because that's of course much better. You see, in Montenegro and Kosovo are much more developed because they have the euro. And obviously also that the Europeans, the resistance of the Europeans has to be smoothed by the Americans. Because the Americans are the protecting power of Albania, but also today they are the protecting power of Ukraine. And in this confrontation today is the day when Biden and Putin are calling. It's nobody has any military assets to defend Ukraine but America. And so in that kind of confrontation, it's important that Albania asks for something, EU membership. And this is the Independence Declaration of Albania. Here you see 100 years of Albania. It's now 110 years. It was in 1912. I remind, it was with Austrian and Italian support. We in Austria tend to think it's more Austrian support, but it was very important, obviously, in 1912. Durrës was already occupied or threatened by the Serb forces. So Ismail Stafa is another guy, a communist guy. But Ismail Cemali, the father of Albanian independence, he had to move down south to Flora. Then there was the declaration of independence there at the balcony, this world famous photo. You have seen it. It was now 109 years and soon it will be 110 years. Yeah, Albania fantastic now in NATO, and now the Euro, and then the EU. And given the very strong rollback which is happening politically from Russia in Montenegro, Macedonia and Albania, these are the three countries I focused this week about during my travels. It is very important to bring progress here, because Macron and the Bulgarians stopped it in Macedonia. Now we have to recover, and we have a political crisis in Macedonia, in Albania and in Montenegro simultaneously for a reason. It's not that that's not connected. It's absolutely connected, and it's absolutely happening. And we have to counter that with the Euro and with EU accession, with American help, and that must be done. I show you here, that's the already pedestrianized Toptani Street. So here's the logic, there's the Toptani Street pedestrianized, here's the Muslim Shuri Street not pedestrianized, so it's so logically. Here you see the center as well, artist, beautiful, and also this amazing building. Behind it is the new mosque. Here you see another tower. It's really moving very much upwards. The country is moving so many. There's the stadium over there, and I will show you that part. And I have shown you already during my summer videos. Yeah, I think some of you might remember. And now I go to the Skanderbeg Square, and I will show you that beautiful part of the town. I will walk to the Basairi. So Albania needs American support, and it has, but it's not only a bit, but it needs a lot, and it needs it in the EU. So the American ambassador must hammer down in Twitter the EU24, the EU24. That must be the combining project, and the Euro. It might be a bit strange, the Americans supporting the Euro, but that's the future. That's obviously a EU member country in the future. And it's the Euro our currency, so it's absolutely logical. These are these main administrative buildings. I'm no longer absolutely, that's the Ministry of Finance. That's another ministry. I'm no longer so much. I was living here and I knew all the buildings, but and basically that's what you maybe heard. The theater that was destructed, and there will be a new building here. It was a big scandal. Here you see some other, it's now better renovated. It's actually well renovated now. So the center has really improved, especially because of the removal of the traffic, because that was a big roundabout. I was myself driving here still. I mean, the Skanderbeg Square, it was unbelievable. The first time I came here in '98, they had the old Mercedes, and this was the exchange. It was happening in the trunks of the cars. So I came here in '98, and it was like that. They had the trunks open, there was amounts of cash, and you changed whatever mark I had there, I think, and then they changed it in the trunk of the car. And it was a totally complete mess. And now actually it's very nice, yeah, I have to say. This is one of the other administrative buildings. This is now the mayor office, the city mayor, and some other of the, I think, Ministry of Infrastructure. And here, of course, Skanderbeg, and another very big building up here. Some years ago, it was also in communism, the Tirana International Hotel was the biggest one, 15 floors, but now they're going up 45 in the back of that one, I see that. And here you see another big one, Eyes of Tirana. It's basically a ring of skyscrapers beyond this Italian style colonial building from the 30s. And then you see the big ones, and here the mosque, the National Museum, the Opera House here, National Museum here, and of course Skanderbeg. I will walk you there. It's amazing. So the basic concept, what I propose, all three countries fast-tracked into the European Union, same as we did it with Bulgaria and Romania, for strategic reasons. And it's much better for them, it's much better for us, and it's very good. And same like in Kosovo, Montenegro, to allow the euro for the currency additionally for Albania and Macedonia. That's very logical. It's very good. And by the way, we have done it as well. Everything I say, we have done already in better times, with better leadership in the 2000s. Thanks to George Bush, thanks to the leadership of Schüssel and others in these years, it was very good, and I call for that. Now I will walk you over there to, that's the mayor's office, and here is the Skanderbeg, and here's of course the central bank. I can never pass a central bank when the country which I call for the adoption of the euro. So I will walk you there as well. First to the Skanderbeg, because obviously he was the shield of Christendom, the great hero of the Balkan Byzantinian princes who defended after the fall of Constantinople, the Hungarians and the Albanians and the Serbs all together defending Christianity, Christian Europe from a further Ottoman onslaught. He was one of the most successful ones until they built the fortress in... Yeah, I'm walking you here now. Very good. Here's the Christmas market here now, Skanderbeg. Yeah, very good. Yeah, honor the great hero, the shield of Christendom. He protected Italy in these important years in the second half of the 15th century. And I will have to walk over here. Yes, just to show you, this is of course the Opera House, the big buildings here, Eyes of Tirana, amazing towers. One is ready already over there, they're all growing up. It is a New York style development in the making. And just it's a Christmas market here now. It looks very good and it's very nice. And I have to go to the central bank, obviously. It's my absolutely must. And I will call for the euro. In the meantime, since the summer, I managed to publish in the leading economic newspaper my op-ed for the euro for Albania. And okay, the idea, the project has not created a lot of tractions. Nobody wants me to... Oh yeah. I'm gesticulating too wild and I almost hit this poor bicycle person. Anyhow, I'm careful. I show you now the Banca Chypris, the national bank. And don't worry, all guys, and I have some friends who work there, you will not lose your job just because there is a different currency. There is also a central bank in Kosovo, in Montenegro and in Austria. So don't worry guys, just the euro makes much more sense. It's time for the euro for Albania. I repeat this, it's very important economically, politically, strategically and for peace. It's very important for Kosovo to start the cascade of euroizations of Macedonia, starting Albania, Macedonia, Bosnia. Then the offer towards Serbia is much more concrete to recognize Kosovo. So Albania has to do it for Kosovo, in my view and my call. And then obviously to also Ukraine, Moldova and Georgia. This is the answer to counter the Russian aggression, is the euroization. And it all starts here from Albania. So Albania, similar like in 71 and then several times in history, also in 1912 and in other moments, has a huge role to play in world politics. And I call for Albania to adopt the euro. This is the moment, 2021-22 then, to go ahead with that one and to adopt the euro. Now here, Eyes of Tirana, I show you this big building, amazing. Another one coming up. Here, of course, the National Theatre. I remind everybody my idea to transfer the Skanderbeg regalia, which we have in Austria, to Albania. They say in this museum, I would prefer to bring it to tourists because it's more logically, because at that time, obviously, Tirana didn't exist. It was just a village. It was later created with the new Albania because this was further from the sea, so it was protected. But now you're a NATO member, nobody attacks you from the sea, so it would be wonderful to restore the Sok Palace into a museum and then to put the Skanderbeg regalia there. That would be, I think the Austrians should give that back and then should give it back to Albania. Yes, enough from here. Now for the Christmas market, you see how it is here. Beautifully and fine and dynamic. The center is really moving up forward very dramatically and very positively. That's of course really good. And now, thank you, I will show you the Christmas tree here. It's the city of religious harmony between all groups, and that's of course here the Christmas tree, over there the mosque. And this is the center of the town. Very beautiful. Very, very beautiful. And now I will walk over to the opera, and beyond the opera you see then the new town, the new bazaar. It's a nice renovation project which I like very much, and that is something I want to show you as well in this beautiful morning, my second 2021 trip, this time in the winter, and I hope you like it. The time for peace has come now. Here the opera. Tirana is very well developed metropolis, ready for the European Union. I know, this regional disparity in Albania is a big issue. Do you think that it will be solved alone when it was not solved the last 30 years? I don't think so. The regional inequality inside Albania and the underdevelopment of east and north can also be solved inside the European Union for many structural and political reasons. That's also one of the reasons why I call for EU membership in 2024. We wasted enough time. It's now time to be serious and get going, and that will be the better way. Here the new renovated mosque. It's not new, but it's under renovation, and it's, I think, close to being finished. In the background the clock tower, here the opera, and here another big tower. And towers and skyscrapers is really not missing. This is the New York of the Balkans. Who would have thought that this is happening? Yeah, this is of course a lot of poverty as well, because COVID was of course hitting the tourism industry in 2020, 2021. Yeah, that's also one of the reasons for the crisis in all three countries, because tourism of course is a major income earner in the coastal Balkan countries, and the remittances, then travel was limited now the second year, and obviously the lack of political progress, the lack of accession progress, and the lack of economic progress, it's compounding itself. The political elite under enormous pressure for all this, the people under pressure, the savings getting thinner, and yes, and there we are. Despite really the internal growth dynamics of central Albania, let's call it like this, is similar like in Kosovo. It's really very good. But yeah, the overall picture, obviously, the stability by NATO membership is there, and then foreign policy, they are fully aligned, don't forget. They're all fully inside. There is one other monument. The exact nature, I don't know. But here, just to show you these big buildings. I'm now in the December. It's now exactly 30 years after the student revolution, or 31 years. I'm mixing it up. 30 years. Basically 30 years after transition. And it was the students in December 1990, not 91. But then obviously the start of transition, the forming of the parties. It's already 31 years transition. Many people think it's enough. This is a big hotel now, a luxury hotel. I don't know exactly the operator, but things are improving. You can see that. Yes, it was the former headquarters of the Democratic Party. When I was first here, this was still this black building here in the middle. And now it's again Maritime Plaza. Yeah, exactly. Also big. And it has really changed. Yeah. Over there is the Asem Haidari monument. He was killed in the tragic events of '97. And here you see some of the monuments. That's of course the liberation of '44 from Italian and German occupation, and that year's German occupation. Yeah, the monuments of the partisan times. Anyhow, their kind of style. There's a lot of communist relics. When I go to Ukraine, for example, today, and I don't see any Soviet memorials anymore, and they have put it all in the garbage chunk of history, and then you come here and you see a lot of this. But of course history is a bit different, and also the commemoration culture is different. But here you see then a lot of communist memorabilia. That's also not so good, because we should get rid of this communist past. This is the ring road here. You see, it's already very dynamic. Morning traffic, very intensive. I try to cross here. I think now everything is with traffic lights, and so road security is really very good, and it's much more improved. And here, this is the road to the new bazaar. Yeah, very good. So, trying to cross here, and always to negotiate peacefully and happily. And over there is the new bazaar. The new bazaar was one of these city development projects. It's also really beautiful, and it came from the time of I forgot my umbrella. That I might regret later this day. Anyhow, that was not very smart of me. Good. What to do? Ready to go, and the new bazaar is over there. And then I will leave you for this morning. Enough of peace? No, peace is very important. And when you see today will be this Biden-Putin talk, I really hope there will be no escalation in Ukraine. But how the Russians and the Serbs are basically acting in Europe is outrageous. The second time this year threatening war. Now you can call it the third time if you include the Serbian mobilization. And you have all this dramatic, brutal form of politics. Yeah, I will regret it that I don't have my umbrella with me, but I will be inside at the new bazaar. That is here the area. It's very beautiful. I will try to cross this road. Yeah. Walking over. Yeah, I hope you liked all the videos from Ohrid. I had some time to upload it, and I have now shown you Ohrid. And I hope that I can show you even more. Of course, you know, the whole idea is to show you and to show the world, all viewers, how beautiful it is here, but also that these countries are ready for NATO and they need the EU. Actually, they're all in NATO already, by the way. So what we're waiting for with the EU. So that's basically my call, to make sure there is support for the strategy of fast-track inclusion in the European Union. And of course Kosovo and Bosnia in NATO, and Serbia isolated, because political incompatibility must lead to isolation. That's the new bazaar. And that's actually a very nice area where they have decided to renovate everything and to make it very beautiful. It's now a kind of a old market town, and it's beautiful fish here, and it's really very nice here. And it's in the summer, of course. In the spring it's perfect, but also in the winter I will try my best to enjoy. And it's one of the areas where you have really extremely successful city redevelopment projects, and that's something I like it. Pedestrianization, beautiful buildings, then the whole square nicely renovated, less traffic and good markets. This is modern market capitalism, urban centers revitalized, and that's really very beautiful. I like it. Now I have to leave you. Thanks a lot for that, because I have to find my way where I drink coffee now this morning. Thanks a lot from Pax Europiana, from Tirana. More to come. Best regards. Bye.